For the past few years, the global EV story has increasingly been told as a race between two companies, Tesla and BYD.
Tesla is no longer the world's top seller of electric cars. Elon Musk's car company is now lagging behind a Chinese rival that many Americans may have never heard of.
In 2023, BYD produced more than 3 million new energy vehicles.
Now, China's BYD has overtaken Tesla as the world's largest seller of electric vehicles.
It's an obvious contest. Tesla helped to turn the electronic car into a global technology product. BYD built the manufacturing scale, battery capability, and cost structure to challenge it. The comparison is real, is also incomplete. The global audience is mostly seeing the part of China's EV industry that has already reached overseas markets. Inside China, Tesla faces a much wider field of competitors, giving consumers very different reasons to choose another car. To understand where the global car market may be heading, we need to look beyond BYD and the competition already changing what an EV can be inside China. Hi, I'm Kewen. Welcome to the channel. Today we are looking beyond BYD at the wider competition inside China's EV market. In China, range-extended vehicles are officially classified as plug-in hybrids. For simplicity, this video discusses battery electronic and plug-in vehicles as part of the wider EV transition. Let's start with the global picture. More than 20 million electronic cars were sold worldwide in 2025. That's roughly 1/4 of all new car sales. Chinese automakers accounted for around 60% of global EV sales, while China produced nearly 3/4 of the world's electronic cars. China is no longer simply one important EV market. It's the industry's main center of production and its largest source of demand. BYD is the most visible corporate expression of that scale. BYD began as a battery company. The battery is one of the most expensive and strategically important components of an electronic vehicle. BYD makes its own batteries, controls large parts of its supply chain, and sells everything from relatively affordable cars to premium models. In 2025, BYD sold more than 4.6 million new energy vehicles, including more than 1 million overseas. By the end of the year, the company said its footprint covered 119 countries and regions. It has invested in overseas production and now even operates its own vehicle carriers to transport cars between markets. Tesla and BYD represent two recognizable approaches to the EV business. Tesla built a focused global range around efficient electronic powertrains, software, charging, and a powerful technology brand. BYD built a broader manufacturing system based on batteries, scale, cost control, and models across almost every price level. But the companies that are easiest to see from outside China are not the only ones shaping competitions inside it. The difference is visible before a buyer even starts comparison specifications. BYD has a much larger product range and doesn't use a mall-based retail model that defines Tesla and many of China's newer EV brands. Companies such as Li Auto, NIO, Ito, and Xiaomi sell through highly standardized stores, often located inside major shopping centers. Their compact lineups fit into a single space, where customers can explore the cars, choose a configuration, book a test drive, and place an order. By placing sleek cars next to Apple stores and luxury boutiques, they reach shoppers directly and present the EV as a premium technology and lifestyle product. So, although Tesla and BYD are often presented as directly equivalents in global sales charts, they don't occupy the same position inside China. In terms of retail experience and brand image, Tesla is much closer to China's newer EV brands. Li Auto takes this idea in a specific direction. Its vehicles are designed around family travel rather than a minimalist driver-centered cabin. They are known for the spacious cabins, comfortable rear seats, and features designed to make long journeys more enjoyable, especially when traveling with children and elderly parents. In China, the concept is sometimes summed up with the tongue-in-cheek phrase, a refrigerator, a sofa, and a large screen TV. The phrase echoes China's old idea of the household, three big items, consumer goods that symbolized a modern family life in the era of scarcity. In the 1960s and 1970s, they were a watch, a bicycle, and a sewing machine. By the 1980s, a color television, a refrigerator, and a washing machine. The Li Auto L6, for example, is a 5-seat premium family SUV. Depending on the version, buyers can get heated and ventilated seats, massage functions, multiple screens, and a compressor refrigerator. Comfortable for the entire family is treated as part of the main product. Li Auto also found success with range-extended EVs. Electronic motors drive the wheel, while a petrol engine works mainly as a generator. Owners can drive electronically during normal daily use without relying entirely on charging during long trips. For buyers who enjoy smooth experience and the cheap cost of electronic driving but worried about charging on long journeys, this removes a major objection. Ito approaches the market through Huawei. Ito vehicles are developed through cooperation between the automaker Ceres and Huawei. Models such as M7 and M9 combine family-oriented SUVs with Huawei's assistant driving technology and the Harmony OS-based digital cockpit. Huawei already has a powerful position in Chinese consumer technology. It's known for phones, telecommunications equipment, operating systems, and connected devices. For some buyers, it's not simply a large screen or driver assistance. It's a familiar technology brand and digital ecosystem inside of the car. Xiaomi enters from the consumer electronics. Before making cars, Xiaomi was known for smartphones, technology, television, wearables, and smart home products. Its first car, the Su 7, was a sporty electronic sedan. Its first SUV, the U7, launched in June 2025 with a starting price of RMB 253 and 500. Xiaomi presents the car as part of its human-car-home ecosystem, connecting the vehicle with phones and other smart devices. Xiaomi markets its cars through stylish design, strong specifications, aggressive pricing, and device integration, in a language that feels closer to a smartphone launch than a traditional auto show. NIO competes partly through premium design and service, but its clearest distinction is battery swapping. A normal EV remains connected to a charger while the battery fills. At a NIO swap station, automated equipment removes the depleted battery from underneath the car and installs a charged one. NIO says the average process takes about 3 minutes. By February 2026, its users had completed 100 million battery swaps. NIO also offers a battery subscription model. Consumers can buy the vehicle separately and pay to use the battery, reducing the initial price and providing more flexibility in battery capacity. These brands overlap, but each has a different center of gravity. Tesla is not facing a single Chinese company trying to become a Chinese Tesla. It's facing several companies that have taken different parts of the car buying decision and built products around them. What stands out in China is how quickly the definition of automotive value is being pulled apart and rebuilt. For much of the modern car industry, consumers judge the vehicles through a relatively stable set of criteria: price, reliability, fuel consumption, performance, comfort, handling, brand reputation, and resale value. The technology improved, but the basic idea of the car changed slowly. Tesla disrupted that structure. For a period, Tesla wasn't merely competing within the existing definition of the automobile, it was rewriting it. Software became central to the car. Over-the-air updates and charging networks became part of the product. Large screens and minimalist interiors became symbols of modernity. Chinese EV companies are now extending that process in several directions at once. They are expanding the list of things an EV can compete on, from manufacturing cost and family comfort to software, digital ecosystems, charging and service. Tesla still offers a strong combination of design, software, efficiency, charging, and brand identity, but it can't be the best answer for every buyer at the same time. This shift is possible because the Chinese market has moved far beyond the early adopter phase. More than 13 million electronic cars were sold in China in 2025, and the EVs reached nearly 50% of new car sales. At that level of penetration, companies are no longer selling mainly to enthusiasts who have already decided they want an EV. They are selling to ordinary households, comparing many different kinds of car. Electronic motors, large screens, and software updates have become normal. Simply being electronic is no longer enough. Each company needs to give buyers a clear reason to choose its car. For some, that means designing around family travel. Others focus on long-distance convenience or integration with devices people already use. China keeps producing different answers because traditional car makers, battery companies, technology firms, and startups are all competing in the same market. The market is crowded, but that's why the idea keeps multiplying. The speed of the competition reinforces this process. Companies rarely respond through price alone. They tend to build on strengths they already have, pushing the market in several directions at once. Chinese consumers often describe this pressure with the word 卷, usually translated as involution. The translation makes sound theoretical. The commercial reality is much simpler. Companies keep forcing one another to offer more. Some will fail, but the market effect is clear. Competition is accelerating the search for new forms of consumer value. China is not simply producing more electronic cars, it's running a large, fast experiment in what an electronic car can become. So, what happens when more of this competition moves overseas? The easy answer is that Chinese companies will export their cars and repeat their success elsewhere, but the reality is far more complicated. Cars are difficult to globalize. A company needs regulatory approval, localized software, service networks, financing, and long-term consumer trust. Products developed around Chinese roads, lifestyles, and the digital services may need significant changes before they work equivalently well elsewhere. A digital system built around Chinese apps may lose much of its value in Europe or North America. A battery swap network that works in dense Chinese cities may be too expensive to reproduce across a large, low-density country. In China, Huawei and Xiaomi entered the car market with millions of consumers who already knew their products. In another country, those names may carry much less trust. Trade policy adds another barrier. Tariff can raise the price before a vehicle reaches the customer, while political concerns about software, data, and supply chains can restrict market access. These barriers explain why the world hasn't yet seen the full picture. The final question is whether this competition merely redistributes EV sales or brings new buyers into the category. EV competition is often described as a fixed pie. One sale lost by Tesla becomes one gained by BYD, Xiaomi, or Li Auto, but that assumes a buyer have already decided to buy an EV. A family choosing Li Auto may never have been a realistic Tesla consumer. If Tesla doesn't suit the way that family travels, Li Auto gives that family an electronic or range extended option that fits its needs better. In that case, the sale is not moving from Tesla to Li Auto, it's moving from petrol to Li Auto. A young buyer may choose a Xiaomi because it looks better, feels more modern, and offers more technology for the money than the petrol car they were considering. Different companies can remove different reasons for staying with petrol. That's why competition among EV companies doesn't have to be completely zero-sum. Competition will still put pressure on prices, margins, and weaker companies, but at the same time, the range of EV products can become wide enough to attract customers who previously remained outside the category. Tesla versus BYD shows us the first stage of the competition. China's domestic market may be showing us the next one. And when the next stage reaches the rest of the world, the biggest change may not be who leads the EV market. It may be how much of the car market is still left for petrol.